Hi, today we are going to see how we can do the logging and also monitoring in Anypoint platform. So in order to start with, I already created a project in Mule Anypoint Studio. So this one is a 7.3.4. So I just created a simple Mule application, which is a hello world program, which receives your request through HTTP, and hello world is a resource endpoint, and I have just given a port as 8081. And also in this particular app, I've added a logger which just say this API request has been received in the hello world. So I didn't do anything. So it's a simple project. I'm going to deploy this into my CloudHub environment. So I'll just export this for my deployment. I'm using the Mule Anypoint Studio archivable. Click next. And this is under this hello world 8 December. Click next. And I'll store it in this particular path as a jar file. So meanwhile, I'll log into the Anypoint platform for deploying my application. So this is my Anypoint platform. I just created the sign up trial account in Anypoint platform with this ID. Today only I have created, and it's a empty platform. I didn't deploy any application earlier. So this is the first application I'm going to deploy. So I just I'm signing in. Okay, I have logged into the Anypoint platform. I'm going to deploy my Mule application. See the Mule application, whatever I created or whatever I have it in Anypoint Studio, I have exported as a jar now. I'll upload that into my Anypoint platform. So I'll go into Runtime Manager. So I'm going to deploy in Sandbox environment. This is the trial account, that's why it's not having a production environment. As I already designed and developed my application in Studio, I'm going to install in a Sandbox environment. Okay, so there is no application is available. This is the first application. I'll click a deploy application button, and I've created a hello world, and I'll say my app name hello world. Okay, I'll just say my hello world. I'll say today is 8th December. Just give 8th December. Okay, I just give an application name, and I'm going to deploy into CloudHub environment and application file. So which file I'm going to deploy? I'll select upload file. So it's there in my system. So hello world 8th December is my application file, application jar, which I exported as RK file. I'm going to deploy it now. So the application is getting deployed now. So if you see here, the logs are kept for 30 days up to 100 MB. So this is as per the CloudHub availability of the logs. As we are deploying my application into CloudHub environment, we can have only maximum 100 MB log or 30 days of log with 100 MB. So the latest 100 MB of logs will be available here. And so this is one of the log which we can see in the Anypoint platform. And I'll go to other than the application log. This, if you see here, I'll come back. So my application has been started, and if you wanted to go to the application log, you can click the application name and you can click the logs, which will show your application related log, and it's a log file. And if you go to insight, it will be empty. As of now, it will be empty. The insight is the place where we can monitor what are the transaction coming to my application. We can monitor from here, so which we will enable it in another few minutes. Okay, as of now, whatever the log we have, this is the log. It's application log, which says the application has been started successfully. I'll try to invoke my application now. I have gave my endpoint as hello world, and I'll copy my application URL. I'll go to my application, and this is my application URL. I'll copy the link, and I'm going to call that program. So my endpoint is hello world. Yeah, I'm just executing from the Postman, which is the REST client. Through that, I'm executing my API, which is running in the CloudHub platform. Okay. So I removed that because I had earlier some pipeline there, or the body there, which is not required for get. So if you see get, it got invoked with 200. If I go and see the logs, so it will also show the Mule messages, what are the incoming messages coming in this dashboard. So I'm in the dashboard page. And also whatever the logging is happening, if you see this logging, whatever it happens in asynchronously. So that if you have a multiple steps in your flow, it will not wait until this logger to get complete. So it happens asynchronously. So as it happens asynchronously, it will take some time to reflect in these pages as well. So as of now, no, still it's showing zeroth message only, even though I have triggered something. So we'll wait for a few minutes. After that, it will appear here. CPU, whatever the CPU usage and memory, it will reflect here. So which we can monitor from here as well. So we can see the last 24 hours detail and last hour detail, and like that we can see the monitor. If you see here, so our messages, whatever I have invoked 2 times, it got reflected here. So that is why it's showing the number of Mule messages received too. But as we could see, there was a delay because the logging happened asynchronously to the Anypoint platform. So that is why it is immediately not appearing, but it will happen in another few seconds. So as of now it's 2. If you check after a couple of after a few seconds, then it will show 3. Okay, so if you come and see the logs also, the log I was printing, the log API, the hello world API received. So that's a message also getting printed in the logs. Okay, so inside, as of now, if you see the inside, there's no log here, because if I wanted to see what are the transactions are coming here, I wanted to log, then we can enable the insight, so that the insight appear here. So number of transaction which is coming, what time, and what kind of important information we are logging, which we can capture it from this insight page. I'll go to settings. So if you see here, this is the same thing what when we deploy the application, we gave the jar, this is a URL. I went to the settings of that particular application. So there is something called insight here. If you wanted to enable insight, what you can do is you select this whatever the data option you want. By default, it's disabled. If you wanted to enable the insight, then you can select the option and enable it. So when insight is enabled, it captures the additional information. So it might impact your performance. For example, if overall processing is taking few microseconds, then it will be added with more microsecond or milliseconds. Okay, so that's why there is a pop-up here to enabling the insight, which would say it will take some more memory consumption and stuff like that. Okay, I saved it. I selected it. I'm going to save this one. I applied the changes. Okay, so then now my changes are getting applied. Okay, so if I go to the dashboard, okay, so earlier I was showing only the 2 requests has been received. Now if you see, because after a few seconds it's getting appear here, which will show the Mule message and other thing. It's getting loaded. So meanwhile I'll go to log and I'll just request few more things, because we have enabled insight now. Okay, I've executed a few requests now. I'll see the logs here. My current time is 11:16, so that is 11:16 I invoke few API requests that I'm able to see in my application log. So go to insight. Okay, still it's not appearing here. So if you see here, the log request, it changed to 3 for last hour. So this happens asynchronously. That is why it is taking few more seconds to appear it here. So meanwhile, I'll also show the other monitoring or other alerts. So as of now, what we have seen, we deployed the application and we have seen the alerts inside the application. There is a logs where we have seen the logs, and which will show the application log, and also there's a dashboard which shows number of requests which is coming to the application. So that kind of dashboard, and also which shows CPU and the memory consumption. So if you go to the insight now, because we have enabled insight, and then we are coming here, and if you see here, it stores the request, each request, how much milliseconds it's taking. So if you see 3 milliseconds, 16 milliseconds, and if you click the each event, and what are the events are there, what are the process steps are there, so those kind of things are coming. As of now, business data, nothing is coming because we are not capturing any business data in our flow. Just simply logging the message. So those kind of steps are coming, and also when this has been invoked. So it has a unique UID, and then what is the status, it's failed or completed, and how much time it's taking, and when this transaction has arrived. So it's showing 3 transactions because we have enabled insight recently. So after that, we have only triggered 3 transactions. So those are the informations are coming, and also there is a graph to show how many transactions, and so on. And also you have advanced where you can filter by based on date and transaction ID and some more useful information. And I'll go to the dashboard. So if you see here, last hour, whatever the recent transaction. So here, this particular time 0, and then 2, and then 4, total. Yeah, all the requests has been logged with the CPU message and memory. And if you need a transaction based logging, so you can come and see it from here, which is an insight which we have enabled in a settings page of that particular application. So if you come and see here, the insight, the setting of the application, we have already enabled the insight. So when you enable the insight, automatically you'll get it will add it with whenever the transaction comes, it also add more data into your processing, so it might slightly degrade your performance. Okay, so now we have seen logs about the runtime manager, so mainly for the application log. Okay, so now what other logs are there? So if we go to the access management, so there is something called audit logs. This is to track your auditing events. So who is doing what, and if you see here, this particular time, this user and logged in and modified the application. So basically, I have redeployed the application. So those kind of logs are coming. So this is to track the auditing. So if you want to see, any user has violated the access, what user is doing login, logout, and creating the applications, and if they are creating any environment, who is doing what. If you wanted to see, you can see it from this access management audit logs. And so here you can access this audit log via this access management UI. Another way, every pages of this cloud or Anypoint platform accessible through REST API as well. So you can consume that through the REST API, audit logging query API, and then you can retrieve this information as well. And also this audit logging, this data, it is coming from Anypoint platform, which is retained for 6 years. So if you want more data to your local, then you can download and keep it. But this data only will be available for 6 years in Anypoint platform, these kind of audit events. Okay. So we have seen logs and this one, and then next one is monitoring. So this is called Anypoint monitoring. So this is not appearing here because this is cached. It's coming from the cached page from my browser. I'll refresh it. So when I see Anypoint monitoring, if you see, I don't have permission to access Anypoint monitoring because this is a trial account. I just created it. I didn't enable or I didn't provide access to my user to Anypoint monitoring. Okay, so how do you give access to Anypoint monitoring? I'll go to access management, users. So it will show the list of users. As of now, it's having on this platform organization has only one user, and there is I have clicked my user, Anypoint monitoring, and then you have to assign access for monitoring. So Anypoint monitoring user is there, and then you click this plus symbol. Okay, so now the access has been added. So I'll go to the monitoring page again. Okay, it's coming from the cached page, so I'll just refresh it. Okay, so earlier this page was coming with you don't have permission to access. Now also it's like that. I'll just Okay, I'll go again and check my access, Anypoint Access Manager. My user, this is organization, and I'll go to the users. December, Anypoint monitoring. So Anypoint monitoring user access is there. So I just double checked it. I'll just go and see Anypoint monitoring again. So this is the Anypoint monitoring link. Okay, so earlier if you see this page kind of showing, I don't have access. Now, if you are able to see the page, I can search my different application using the built-in dashboard. Okay, I'll select the sandbox and it will show related application which is available in the sandbox. Okay, and you have alerts as well, which we can configure the runtime alerts as well. For example, if I go to runtime manager. Okay, so I don't have any alerts configured, so I'll just create an alert. For example, this is to deployment alert. Okay, so if anybody is doing deployment, I wanted to get alert. So source is all application type, CloudHub application. I can select my hello world, or I can select all applications. So if I select all the application getting deployed, I'll get a alert. The email subject you wanted to give Anypoint platform deployment alerts, and then I can give a custom message as well. And other than that, we need to see which where I have to send alert, and also you have to select this condition. So for example, I wanted to get the alert for deployment success, and I wanted to get any other alert. So for example, I wanted to get alert for deployment success, and then it says its own custom subject, and then there's a default message as well. Recipient, you can add a recipient, because I already have my profile here. I'll my user here, which is this one, Arul Sturaj. So I'll submit it. So this user profile, which I have it to use it, I used to log in this Anypoint platform. It's tied back with my email ID. So that's why whenever this alert is coming, I will be getting an email as well. Okay, I'll submit it. Okay, so now this email alert is active. So if I come to application, for example, if the deployment is getting success, I'll get alert. So I'll go and deploy application. So basically, I'm going to override the same app again, so that it will create the deployment. Hello file C colon users. So hello world 8 December is my app. I'm applying the changes, which is basically updating my deployment. So once it's successfully deployed, so it's getting deployed now. So it's getting deployed now. I'll go to the application path. So if you see here, it's updating. So once it's deployed, so we will see, we used to get that alert, because we have configured the alert to see, anything successful, then it will send an alert. So if you see, the application has been deployed. So I'll just check my email, anything I received for alert. So if you see here, there's a no reply message, info deployment success. I got the notification from Anypoint platform alert notification. You are receiving this alert because the deployment of my alert 8 December has been succeeded. So this is one of the alert notifications. Similarly, you can set many alert. So if you go to the alert, so this is the only alert now. So if you wanted to create a more alerts, then you can specify, and then you can select the cloud application. Then there's a condition when the alert has to come. So those kind of things. For example, I'll select application, and then application type is cloud app, application, all application. If you see the condition, so there are many things. So deployment success, failed, custom application notification, any event traffic threshold, memory usage, and worker is not responding, and CPU usage. If you wanted to monitor any of these from Anypoint platform, then you can monitor and send an alert as well from the alert configuration. So now I'll go back to the monitoring again. So monitoring is the place, where we have a dashboard, the built-in dashboard, where we can see the dashboard as well. One minute, I'll just log in and log out this one. Okay, I'll go to monitoring. And I'll go to runtime manager. Okay, so now what we have done is we have deployed the application and we have seen the log. So when we seen the log, initially we saw the log only from the application log, which shows the the logs which we are printing through the logger or other logs coming from the system log. And then we have enabled the insight, went to the settings and we enable the insight, and we can see what are the transactions are coming, and what kind of steps are getting logged and how much time it is taking. This overall particular transaction is getting success or failed, all this stuff. If you wanted to enable this business data, what you need to do is, if you go to your studio again, and you can add custom business event. Okay, so I wanted to add custom business event. For that, you can give any event. So this is, for example, you wanted to extract the order ID. Okay, as a name, and then confirm business event. So this is still vas.name. I'm storing it into the order ID field. I'll save it. I'll export. And okay, I think I'm exporting I have to export this one. I'll save it. 8 December. Export. In Mule archival. V4. Just click finish. Okay, so it got exported. So I'll just quickly upload in our application. So I'm going to redeploy again with the changes, because earlier I had some syntax issue. I'm going to deploy. I'll go to settings, and the same application I'm using to redeploy. So I'll just update with the updated jar file, which is v4. V4 is the one which I added changes. I'll just deploy it. So it's uploading the file. So it's uploaded the file now. Okay, I'll come back to the application. I'll wait for the application to get deployed. So application is started. So I'll just go back to the application. Meanwhile, I'll just trigger some request. Okay, so I'll just go to logs. See, its request received at 11:48. I'll go to the insight just to see the request came or not. So it didn't appear here, and it shows 12 transaction found for that particular window. Okay, so if you wanted to change different search criteria, then you can search it as well, last 24 hours, last 1 month, and stuff like that. You can apply as well. Okay, so I'm waiting for the 11:48 messages which I published. I'll trigger some more requests as well. So these are the default dashboard which is there in the runtime monitoring itself, to see what are the messages which are coming under the Mule message, and what is the CPU and memory performance. Okay, so 1148 transaction came. I'll just click there to see my business data. So if you see business data is getting logged here. So earlier I had a syntax issue. So now if I see my business event is getting logged, this business data, it is mainly to capture for the particular transaction. If I wanted to see my order ID or any key information, any business information for that particular transaction, then we can log that as well. So how we are logging? So if you see here, there's a custom business event we have added, and I've whatever the variable it is there, I've set the, for this particular exercise I just set the sample value 1232. That is the one I'm just logging it. But in your real use case, you will have a different value which is coming in your payload, or it is coming from your query parameters. Those kind of things you can log it in the custom business event. So initially when we deploy the application, there is no insight. So what we have done, we have went to settings, and then insight, and then we have configured or we have enabled the insight. And then for logging, for Anypoint monitoring, so we went to Anypoint monitoring. Initially when we come here, there is no access. So what we have done is we went to, the, okay, so one more thing we need to do in order to enable the monitoring. If you see this one, built-in dashboard, always it is first not showing any resource or any application which is there in this one. So what we need to do is you have to go to the settings and CloudHub environment and select environment sandbox. It will show the list of application. There you need to enable your application. So for monitoring, it's not only the access. So access, what we did, we went to access management, and then we selected the user and we gave the Anypoint monitoring. So in order to give application level monitoring, we have to go to the settings and we need to apply. Then only, see, applying the changes will restart the application. I'll give OK. So I'm applying it. Okay, so it's enabled now. Okay, so I'll just go to the built-in dashboard. Okay, so it's restarting the application. So that is what it's saying. So I'll wait for that changes to get reflect. So I'll just go to runtime manager to see the latest changes reflected and showing the started status for our application. Because we just see here it's updating still. So what we have done, we have enabled the monitoring for our application from the monitoring page under the settings. So once it's enabled, then we will be able to see more dashboards from the monitoring. So there are built-in dashboard, there are a custom dashboard which we can use it to monitor our performance of our application. So for example, what is the average response, and what is the CPU usage, and there are a lot of more advanced dashboards are there which you will see it now. Okay, so the application has started now. So this is after we enable the monitoring enabled. So it reflecting the it applying the changes. So I'll go back to the monitoring again. Okay, I'll just go to monitoring. So if you see here sandbox, okay, we already enabled it. So this is one of the resource names. So then if you come to the dashboard, so it will appear here. So we'll wait for some more time. So it will appear here. Then you can select and see the dashboard for that particular application. So as it's just deployed, it's just waiting for some time to reflect. And this is the Anypoint. So this is the alert which will take to our runtime manager alert as well. So we have configured already the runtime manager alert. So when you click here, it will again go to the runtime manager where we have already configured the alerts. Just a link to the runtime manager, because this is the alert we have already configured for. If any deployment is successful, then we are sending alert. So that it's taking us to the same page. And also if you see that page, there is one more alert as well, which is the API based alert, which we haven't created. And also you have a custom dashboard where you can add a dashboard to see for the different time you can select, and then if you want last 15 days of dashboard, then you can add a graph, and then you can apply the changes, which basically creates the custom dashboard for your application. Okay, so there's a built-in dashboard as well where I'm just waiting for that resource name to appear, and alerts, and then API operational alerts. So this is mainly the alerts which is available under the API manager, where you can manage your API, and you can. This is specifically for the API base. The other one, what we have seen, it is a runtime manager alert. This is the API manager alert. Okay, I'll go back to the monitoring. Okay, so what will happen is in this Anypoint monitoring, once we successfully deploy the application, it will appear here, and then you can choose, and then you can view the related dashboards. And then one more thing we have, which is visualizer. This also, once if it's a new environment, it will show, there is a permission which we need to give. Those kind of message will come. Once we set that, we will be able to see that. Okay, so now for my sandbox, if I wanted to see what are the inbound transactions coming, what is the failure, and what is the average response time, those kind of things, first 30 minutes, then I can save and then search it. So if you see here, Hello World 8 December is coming. If I click that, then it will show the related statistics. So if you see here, I'm asking for the inbound average response time. So there's no data point. So that is why it is showing. Otherwise, it will show the data points, and also it will show your in the visualizer. It will show each step is taking how much time. Those kind of views it will show from the visualizer. So from here you can see, you can improve your processing. I'll execute few requests. See here, average memory utilization, average CPU utilization. And then you have a few other things as well, which you can choose, and then you can see it in a visualization mode. So I want to see the service for my Hello World. And then it will show how many seconds it's taking for each request and the different timing as well. And I'll go back to the monitoring again. Yeah, see here, now it took some time to appear here. So here is the place, we can monitor our app through the built-in dashboard. So there's a sandbox because this is we have enabled settings, and then we have enabled the app. After that, it should come here, and for us, it took some time to appear here. Okay, so if I click view, then it will show what are the statistics we have. It will show the overview. So from the application perspective, it will show what is the JVM related threads using, and then what is the garbage collection related graphs, and the class loaded and thread counts, and so on. Okay, I'll just do few more requests. Okay, so you can see overview here, and as this is the inbound request, you can see the inbound specific request from this inbound tab. I'll click here to see the full screen, and also it's for 15 days, and I'll just make a short duration so that whatever we do, it will appear here. So if you see this one, total request by type, it's showing one request, three requests at 11:59. So it's showing at the current time only 11:58:59. Inbound average response time. So what is the response time is taking here? It took 5 milliseconds, and this particular point it took 7 seconds, and so on. And also it's showing what is the average seconds it took, and minimum how much took, and maximum. So one particular request it took 8 seconds, 7.58 seconds. So average it took 2.53 seconds. Minimum one case it took 5 milliseconds. Sorry. So these kind of things you can see it from here. And also there are a lot of graphs here. Inbound response time, those kind of things are there. And what are the slow request count. So these are the things you can see it from the inbound, and also the performance related statistics, which you can see it from here. If there are anything JVM specific, then you can click the JVM one, and then you can see the related dashboard. Okay, it's loading. Yeah, so it's related to the garbage collection count, collection time, when it was executed last time, the garbage collection, the clash loader details, and heap used, and thread count in the server, how many threads used in the particular worker, and JVM uptime, when it was running for last few minutes it's running, so that is why it's showing, and other dashboard with respect to infrastructure. Okay, so these all we are seeing for last 15 minutes. So we can modify the timestamp to see the relevant logs which capture under the Anypoint monitoring. Okay, so these all comes under the Anypoint monitoring under the built-in dashboard. So if you wanted to have any specific dashboard for custom, you can define alerts. We have defined alert if there is any deployment success, all those stuff. We design the alert. So that's why now we are getting the alert, and alert, it comes to the user it is assigned. So whenever we create alert, we specify what user this alert has to go to. So those kind of things we have did today. So what we have done today, we have deployed this application which is storing this custom event, and also it has a logger. So logging happen asynchronously. So this application we have deployed, and we deployed in a runtime manager, and in the runtime manager we have few logs, which is a system log where we can go to the application and click the logs, which will show the system log. Inside, when we deploy the application in the settings, after the application deployment, there's an option to select the insight as well, which will basically log the transaction. So if you enable the insight, then it will log it. By default, it disabled. By default, when you come to insight, it will not show any transaction. But when you enable it, it will show. And if you wanted to add a event for your business data, you can add a custom business event which can log your business data and can show in the insight as well. And also this dashboard, which is having only 3 dashboard here. One is a Mule message, how many messages are coming, those kind of dashboard, and also you have a CPU and memory. So if you want a detailed dashboard, then what you can do is you can go to monitoring. In order to have access to the monitoring page, you need to set the access in the user profile in the access management. Okay, so this is coming from a browser cache, so that is why it's not coming. Otherwise, the Anypoint platform is running, and I'll just refresh it. Okay, so it's loading now. So it was coming from the cache, and then if you wanted to set the built-in dashboard, you go to the settings, and then the CloudHub environment, and you select your application and enable it, and then you can see the dashboard from here. So you can give a view, and then you have advanced option where you can select different timings and so on, and which will show all your application related dashboard. So here infrastructure is selected, that's why in the JVM related things are coming. Otherwise, if you wanted to see the inbound request, so you can come and see it from this particular page. And we have seen alerts as well. Yeah, thank you for watching. And if you want more MuleSoft related videos, you can go to YouTube. You can search my channel TechLightning. So I'll just search, if it's a MuleSoft video, you just put MuleSoft, and then you can give TechLightning, which is my channel name. And whatever you see here, the yellow background one, it's related to the MuleSoft related video, which will be more useful for beginners. You can select that and watch. And also there is a MuleSoft Anypoint Studio series for beginners, which you can select all the videos there as well. And also there is a series for Anypoint platform as well, which you can watch as well. So if you want see immediately whenever I upload any videos, you can click TechLightning, and then you can subscribe this channel, and also click the notification symbol. Thank you for watching my MuleSoft related videos. Thank you. Bye-bye.